Well, the signal to noise ratio in terms of like people tweeting, it's almost mostly noise.
Oh,
like,
it's noise.
There's a few people that are great. You could follow a few people that are really posting about real news and
there's 4.
Yeah, there's some journalists.
There's 17 of them.
I think journalists are maybe the best people to follow on Twitter right now, it seems like.
But the problem is, who's a journalist? There's very few. Real journalism takes a long time.
Yeah.
It's expensive, like real investigative journalism. And I've had some of these guys on my podcast. They come on, they go, they've ruined their life. They spent 5 years looking into something nobody cares about. They figured out it was true, and now nobody wants to talk to them.
Right.
They all have white hair. Their families hate them. They live in a little apartment in New York City. That's a journalist.
Well, sometimes people do journalism right, and they do spend a long time working on a project, and it's in something like the New York Times, and no one cares.
No one cares.
Like the thing about Trump, like the report on Trump, the scathing report they thought was going to bring him down. Literally, it was in and out of the news cycle in a day or two.
Yeah, they don't care.
That guy just pops an extra Adderall and doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't give a fuck.
He's the only guy that should ever write a motivational self-help book.
Like how to
He's
not
the
give
only
a
one
fuck.
with the secret.
Right.
Whatever the secret is, he's got it.
I think it's speed.
You think it's speed? You think he's really...
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Might be getting...
I think it's speed. I think he's on something. I mean, I think this is the only way that it makes sense to me that a 70-plus-year-old man has that much energy. A guy who doesn't exercise, eats fast food, and he's fucking bouncing off the walls, and he can campaign for days and days and days.
Just slamming KFC double downs and filet of fishes. And
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How often do you think he gets his dick sucked?
Good question.
And who's doing it?
Great question, and not asked enough.
Right.
Probably not that much. I don't think a guy like that is driven by sex. I don't get that. Maybe he does.
Maybe, but I think he's...
Melania seems to be not into it as much.
She seems a little upset with him.
She seems a bit cold. But she's Slovenian or something?
Something like that.
They're cold.
I don't know. That's a broad generalization.
They're white, so I can say what I want about them, Joe. Okay? Let me say what the hell I want about Eastern Europeans. Can I not have Slovenians?
You can.
Okay, thank you. She's cold.
Well, I think she's a little annoyed with him. You know, I mean, it's been very humiliating for her.
Well, they had the best life.
Yeah, until he ran for president.
Imagine telling his kids, he's like, I know we're all billionaires.
Yeah.
You'll party every day. You do coke with impunity at some New York City nightclub. When you're bored of that, you go to Europe, do it on a boat. When you're bored of that, you go to some orgy in Athens. That's all done.
Right.
But we're going to Canton, Ohio, and I'm giving a speech. And you can stand there. And every camera and every news reporter is going to watch every move you make for the rest of your life.
They're going to crawl up your ass with a microscope too.
And everyone hates you.
Yeah, and some of them might be going to jail. I mean, we really don't know what's going on with this Mueller investigation.
Well, I think I think it's going to be disappointing. Everybody's preparing us for disappointment. Everybody has prepared us for disappointment.
Yeah, CNN is actually saying that don't expect much.
It's like when you get a report card and you tell your parents, you're like, no, I've changed. But I'm still me.
I'm still
you know
stupid.
What I mean? I'm still the guy who gets high before he goes into school and was caught smoking by the priest. Like I used to get caught smoking weed by the priest who was driving into my Catholic school, and he would drive me to the school. So I would be like, yeah, I've made some changes, but I'm still very much that person that you guys raised. So that I think is what the Mueller report is going to be like. Trump, the thing about Trump is he's corrupt. He's a con man. You know, he said this whole wall thing. There is no wall. The wall's not coming.
Little links.
The wall's not
There's
happening.
some wall.
There's no wall.
There's a little
people with
wall.
signs that say finish the wall.
But this part of a wall.
There's more of a wall. There's more of a wall around houses in Bel Air,
right,
than there is at the border.
Well, you know, it's a smaller area, Bel Air.
And there's probably more of a reason to have a wall. You know, and the people that run Bel Air are probably more serious. But,
there's definitely something to that. You know, I don't know about this whole wall thing. I really feel like it was one of those campaign slogans that he got stuck with, you know, build that wall. And then once he got in, he's like, oh, Christ, I really got to build this fucking thing.
It's a slogan someone whispered into his ear.
You think?
Ann Coulter probably said, get out there and say, build the wall. And he goes, that's good. And then he just went out there, build that wall.
I love one of the speeches.
He doesn't really build things.
No.
He lends his name to be franchised.
Yeah, he definitely does that.
He's not a bit like this idea that he's like a bit. The things he's built are disgusting. If you go to Atlantic City, Walk into any building he has built. It is. Chris Hedges wrote a book. He's an interesting guy. He wrote a book called "America: The Farewell Tour," and he goes. He went to Trump Tower in Atlantic City. He goes, "There's junkies in the bathrooms. There's like rats running around. It's falling apart." And he's like, "That's kind of what America will be." But no, anything he's built is not nice. Did you watch it? There was a documentary about an architect called Costas Karianis, and a lot of the documentary is about him convincing Trump to not make his building gold in New York City. And it's like,
is it gold in New York City or
no?
But it's gold in Vegas.
It's gold a lot of places, but he was going to ruin the downtown of Manhattan with a gold building.
Why is that ruining it though?
A gold building?
Why not?
You've spent too much time on the West Coast.
But why is that bad? Why is it bad for it to be one color? Is it better if it's all black or it's all white or
New
it's
York
silver?
has a look. It has a feel. You can't come in with a gold building. It's not Vegas. It's not Atlantic City. This is not Reno.
Like Mandalay Bay.
What goes on in a gold building? I've never looked at a gold building and said, I bet what goes on there is honest, and decent. Gold buildings should be for doing coke and losing money.
Right.
That's what it's about. You don't walk into a gold building and get a checkup.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
That's what I
think.
think.
It's gaudy. Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, gaudy is a weird thing, right? Like, who's that good for? Like, when you go to a place and it's got opulent chandeliers and gilded,
it's for
furniture.
For sociopaths who sacrifice human beings. That's the way they want to live. They want to live in a palatial, opulent environment. And then just,
I think Matt Taibbi said this.
Yeah.
He said that Trump is a poor person's idea of a rich person.
Absolutely.
That's what when a rich person when a poor person thinks about a rich person, they think, oh, he's got his name on his jet, he's got his name on his building. And
the guys I grew up with in Long Island, if somebody went to them and said, hey, you could own the Miss Universe pageant. You could have a building with your name on it. You could be in the WWE. That would be amazing.
You would be a winner.
They would be a winner. Where I grew up in Long Island, that is the highest you can go. So I think that's kind of what it is. It's what's appealing. That's also what's appealing about him. What's appealing about him is there is no veneer.
Right.
You don't get the idea that you're being played. You get the idea, you're kind of being played, but you're being played on a level that you accept. It's like when you go buy a car and you know the salesman, I used to be in sales. So like when I'll go to buy something, sometimes I know the salesman needs the sale because I used to. So like sometimes I'll be like, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. I'll do it. That's kind of with Trump, you're being sold, but you're okay with it.
Right.
You let it happen.
What do you think is going to come after him? It seems like he's throwing a giant monkey wrench into the gears.
If Twitter is any indication, a prolonged civil conflict where there will be, where some will emerge as a few different nation states will barter with each other. I don't know, maybe Joe Biden and then nothing.
Nah, he's got no chance.
Who's coming?
I don't
Warren?
know. She's got no chance.
Bernie, they hate now.
Yeah.
They hate Bernie
now?
A lot of people hate Bernie.
What happened?
I don't know.
I missed it.
Some guy on his staff was accused of sexual assault.
Oh, and now they hate Bernie because
He's a
of that?
rapist. Well, that's what happens. Bernie's out. He's a white, straight male. He doesn't get it.
He
doesn't get it.
Plus, he has like 2 houses.
Yeah, he's worth like $300,000. That offends people.
Does.
Yeah.
How'd you get that money? Off the backs of poor people?
Yeah, in a country, by the way, where people make that in an hour on YouTube,
Some people do. What's his Logan Paul and all those guys?
Those guys, you see people in LA. I'll see a kid in LA on a skateboard. I'm like, he's a millionaire. He owns 3 houses because he's a YouTube live streamer.
Yeah, he's probably playing video games on Twitch.